Hi, thanks for stopping by and checking out this video. Today we're going to take a look at a great guitar from Jackson. It's a Dinky DK3. This is the first Jackson I've reviewed here on our channel, and overall I'd say I was very impressed with the playability, the tone, and the whole package just in general for its price point. I did have a couple little things that I didn't like cosmetically, as well as a couple other little problems that I had that we'll talk about a little bit later. This guitar features a bolt-on construction. The body wood is Okoume and the neck is maple. It does have a bound ebony fingerboard, 24 frets, a fully floating Floyd Rose tremolo system that's double locking, and also has 3 pickups. So you got your 2 single coils for your neck and your middle, and then a nice aggressive bridge humbucker pickup. You've got 2 SSL 6 single coil pickups, and then a JB TB4 in the bridge. I found the single coil pickups to have that fantastic single coil tone that you're going to be looking for out of like any kind of Strat, nice and kind of sparkly when you want it to be, and that nice kind of spanky, almost like percussive kind of clean tones. The bridge pickup is aggressive and clear, nice output, but it's not overly harsh or thin or tinny sounding. I find it works great for both low gain and high gain lead tones, and works awesome for any kind of rhythm work you're going to be doing. The Floyd Rose system is really nice as well. It's stable and reliable. It's not my favorite tremolo system out there, as it doesn't have locking posts, and it has a thumb screw style tremolo bar, which means that it can sort of change tensions. In other words, it might start kind of tight, and then as you use it, that thumb screw loosens and then it becomes very loose. It does flutter, and it is very accurate as far as for, more intricate whammy bar work if you're trying to, bend a note down a whole step or half step, or maybe pull up and be able to, raise the pitch a half step or a whole step. It is accurate and it does work very well. It's great for dive bombs. It's not going to go out of tune if you totally dive bomb all the way down and the strings kind of flap around. It comes back, it stays in tune thanks to that double locking system. As any full floating tremolo user knows, that full floating system is great until you break a string, in which case, since the tension has changed, the guitar is basically useless. You're gonna have to stop and change a string and retune everything. But that's just, basically what you trade off anytime you're using a fully floating system. You're basically just running that risk of that broken string messing you up. This guitar features a 5-way switch, master volume, master tone. There's no push-pull nonsense going on here. That's the way I personally prefer it. I think that 5-way switch is just simpler and easier to use than a push-pull. But that's my own just personal opinion. So 5-way switch, master tone, master volume. The overall build quality, I would say, is maybe like a 7 or an 8 out of 10. The fretwork is very nice and it does play fast and smooth. It really is a lead guitar machine with your shredder kind of metal guitar player in mind. The routing for the pickups though, it was slightly jagged on mine. There was almost like the routing hadn't been sanded after the fact, or it cosmetically just wasn't perfect. It's a very small thing, you know, from a distance you wouldn't notice it, but I was kind of surprised by that. The truss rod was also very out of adjustment on my particular guitar, so I had to mess with that in order to get the correct relief going on. So that was something that I was a little surprised by. You know, some Schecters I've reviewed recently kind of came out of the box ready to play a little bit nicer than this particular guitar. I also ran into a problem where the screws for that 5-way switch weren't tight enough, and after a day or two of playing on it, the switch was like falling out and I had to grab a screwdriver and retighten those screws. So it's not the end of the world, but you know, again, just kind of surprising little kind of things to run into. So the biggest problem that my guitar has is that the volume knob does not work correctly. There's some sort of a wiring mistake inside the guitar. So on the bridge pickup, even rolled all the way off, you still get a little teeny bit of signal. If I flip to the middle pickup or the neck, it's 100% signal. It doesn't work at all. So I believe that there's just some sort of a mistake made from the factory on mine that I'm gonna have to get taken care of. That's a little surprising and a little disappointing. You wouldn't expect that kind of thing from a guitar in this price point, but you know, it is what happened and it was my experience, so just being honest. So now that we're about halfway through the video, if you like it, please hit like and subscribe. Helps my little channel continue to grow. Here we do original progressive metal music, and we also do product reviews like this and free music lessons. Those are the 3 categories we cover. So if you're digging it, like again, hit like and subscribe, do the bell, all that stuff. Also leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about how this guitar looks and sounds. This guitar also included a factory strap lock system, which is pretty cool. I wouldn't really recommend using one of those factory systems in general. I've tried an Ibanez one in the past and it just would not stay on the strap reliably enough. I think with something like that, you're definitely going to want to shop around. A DiMarzio clip lock system is one that I've used for many years that's always reliable, and I did find another strap lock system that I've been using just on eBay, honestly, but it works really great and it's really reliable. So I like that they included the strap lock system, but I don't know if I would necessarily use it and really depend on it. You know, last thing you want to do is have your guitar fall off the strap and get damaged that way. One thing that's also worth noting is there is no volute or extra kind of reinforced part of wood on the back of the neck. So where your nut is, it's got that kind of traditional Ibanez or, you know, old school Ibanez or really Les Paul top of the neck with the headstock, where if this guitar falls and it lands on the headstock, I can almost guarantee the headstock is gonna break off. A little disappointing that they didn't include that extra little reinforcement piece of wood, like basically Ibanez has switched almost all their guitars to have that little reinforced piece. That's just something to keep in mind, especially, you know, if you're gonna be out gigging with the guitar. You're gonna wanna make sure you got a very sturdy guitar stand. Don't have one of those cheapo ones that can get knocked over super easy, because your guitar is most likely gonna break. This is the first Okoume body guitar that I have played, and I'd say I'm very impressed with the tone. Visually, it reminds me a lot of mahogany. Mahogany is personally my favorite tone wood for electric guitar in general, and I think the tone is really warm and it has a lot of clarity, but it's not overly dark. For leads, this guitar really screams. You know, really impressed with it, you know, both for high and low gain stuff. I've been teaching different songs on the guitar, and you know, I really like the tone of the instrument. Paired with those Seymour Duncan pickups, I think they're a great complement to the tone woods on the guitar. And if you haven't played an Okoume body guitar, I would say definitely check it out. I know it's kind of a new wood that has been gaining in popularity. I think it's because it's a little bit more affordable, you know, help keep the price point down on these, you know, beginner to intermediate level instruments. But the tone is there. I think it's fantastic, And I didn't even replace the strings on this guitar before I shot and made my demo, so it's not like I put even New York NYXLs on it, or I personally prefer String Joy, that's what I play. I didn't even do that for it, just the stock strings, and it already sounded great. Overall, I love the look of this instrument. Like my Strandberg kind of in the background, I like that sort of natural wood grain look. I think it's really cool. I love the surface of the back of the neck. It has a really smooth, quick, kind of non-finished surface that's not going to get gummed up, especially if you're playing outdoors and it's a really humid day. I love the reverse headstock. I think the guitar looks super cool. It's got kind of this sort of edgy, modern rock kind of look. You might even call it 80s maybe, but I like that kind of thing. I think it's really cool. I think it's a great looking and sounding instrument, you know, especially if you're maybe someone who's been playing guitar for a couple years, you're looking to upgrade out of that like Squire Strat, you want to get a fully floating bridge and really get into all the whammy bar world of things. This is a great intermediate level instrument to get you into that kind of a performance. This thing shreds, you know, once I got it set up, it really is a great playing and sounding instrument. This is definitely a lead guitar player's kind of a guitar. Now, this Floyd Rose Tremolo system has really been very reliable in the time that I've been using it. It's a double locking system, so it does feature a locking nut at the top and a locking system down below at the bridge. Once you get this system set up and locked down, it's gonna stay basically in tune. And when a tremolo system like this is brand new, it's really very reliable. Now, being as this system doesn't have like locking posts like the way that an Ibanez would, you know, the long-term 3, 4, 5 years down the road, you know, those knife edges might start to wear slightly. You know, obviously you can always replace the posts, get a little lip balm. That's what I use on my guitars just to kind of help it, you know, return from those pull-ups. Really, it's more the pull-ups on the bar that will knock it out of tune, less so than the dive bombs. But, you know, I think it's a great intermediate level bridge and tremolo system, especially if you're new to this. Like I said, it's gonna flutter and do that kind of thing. It's also gonna do all those extreme 80s whammy bar dives and all those kind of like great Eddie Van Halen kind of things to do with your bridge. Especially if it's new to you, this is gonna get that kind of thing going on. I like the design of the neck joint in the back. They've managed to remove a little extra piece of wood and have kind of like one less bolt connecting the neck to the body. Really lets nice access in those upper frets. You're not gonna run into, you know, a big kind of blocky piece of wood on some sort of like maybe a slidey lick in the upper part of the neck. So, you know, I like the construction in the back. I like that bolt-on design. You're gonna get that snappy, nice bolt-on tone, and it's gonna let you really get up on those high frets without any problems. So thanks again for watching this video. Again, hit like and subscribe if you liked it. Leave a comment down below and take it easy.